So just relax into the body. And be as you are, as pure awareness, which is prior to any appearance of thoughts. And with Atma Vichara, inquire inwardly, wordlessly, who is I? Who am I? The thoughts are constantly changing, but you don't change. This awareness, this silence, is the absolute. Sense that one exists without anything else added . When the thought appears, it is the beginning of dualism. And when the thought disappears, you are still yourself. And just be aware of the rising and falling of any random images, words, fantasies. Nothing that you can perceive is real. You are alone, the eternal witness of all things. The one mind, the Buddha nature. Is the innocent, blissful, pure consciousness in which we all are. And this consciousness in which we are is whole, perfect, and complete in its nature. And this consciousness is reality, pure subjectivity, which is alone freedom and liberation. all thoughts are just frequencies of information that correspond to a certain level of consciousness. But you are none of these levels. You are awareness, in which there are no levels. There is only infinity and eternity, timeless presence. And all these words are just pointing to the moon. Simply rest as the moon, which is ever shining, and which shines away the darkness of ignorance in which the ego mind is trapped in. So if you ask yourself, who am I? And inquire deeply, you will realize that no personal identity exists. And what exists is simply the real, the eternal, spirit or self. And so being what you are simply a witness to what is not. You are prior to the I or the I am. You are total wisdom, total peace, total understanding, and total joy. But it is a motionless joy. It is the joy in which we recognize that we are one, abiding as the whole, and that this power is the only power. We are the higher power. So give yourself the gift of truth by simply abiding in the quiet where the mind has stilled and reality shines forth by itself. I choose to dedicate this life to be a servant of love, of unconditional love, I am willing to let go, yet there is nothing even to let go of, nor hold on to, because I am truly beyond any concepts or ideas of letting go and holding on. The master is your own self. The guru is your own self, which is the light of consciousness that naturally and effortlessly dispels the darkness of guilt, shame, fear, desire, pain and suffering are only of the mind, are only of Maya, are only of samsara. All thoughts are objects of imagination. That are like the waves of the ocean. They too are the self, but they have simply risen as a wave does to only return back into the oceanic consciousness. And if you ask yourself again, who am I? You will realize that there is no answer to this question. There is only a knowingness that does not have to do with any words. It is a sense of being, a being that is infinite, that is naturally inclusive, naturally giving and naturally loving. The mind is unnatural. It is an interpretation, a narration, a representation. An exercise can just be repeating the I, I, I. Or I am. And simply abiding as the I or the I am. until that thought too dissolves into the Absolute, Brahman. And so the best thing or no thing that one can do is to keep quiet. And if a thought arises, to whom did this thought arise? And then remain as you always are. As Huang Po says, treat thoughts as if it's a rotten piece of wood. What remains when there is no thoughts arising? You remain, the real self, the only self, the blissful self. The impersonal self. Which is consciousness itself. Transcendence is here and now. There is no person to transcend. The person is an illusion. A belief in the me, the my, and the mine. There is no thinker behind the thoughts. There is no doer behind the doing. No actor behind the actions. All is happening spontaneously in harmony with the Tao. Let there be peace amongst all beings of this universe. May all beings find health, wholeness, happiness, compassion, and truth. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.